Today we're looking at Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Xbox. There are two games in this series. I believe the Chaos Bleeds, the second one is a follow-on to this, I think. It's on original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. I believe the Xbox version is probably the best version for performance and stuff. As you can see, I'm fighting Spike. So I'm making the assumption this takes place between seasons 1 and 3, because she's obviously at high school at this point. The cast in this is mostly the original cast. I think, barring, I believe, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think it's somebody else. I'm not 100% sure about that. I could be wrong. But she's doing quite a good imitation. But yeah, the second one I've looked it up, Chaos Bleeds, looks quite. It looks similar. And I've played the first bit before this, where you're in the high school, but my footage came out wrong. Basically, the brightness wasn't high enough, so I couldn't really see anything, and the contrast wasn't that great on it. But this is not a bad little game actually. I'd definitely put this in the range of like a 6 or 7 out of 10 type game. It's janky. It's got some very much janky moments in the game, but it's not bad. I tend to find with these types of games, they're more. I tend to find them. They're not a game I'd play for a great deal, but they're more intriguing than anything else. But I thought it's kind of prudent given the fact that we have the new TV show has just been announced, and I'm quite curious about where they're going to take it because it's a new generation. It'll be a new Slayer. I hope it's just as good as the writing for the original series because Buffy is it's probably one of the best written TV shows out there, for like a they said science fiction and supernatural drama like mixed in with like coming of age, and it's easily the best if not up there. And again, its spin-off is kind of interesting as well, Angel. But like it's the episodes in Buffy, like they're very, very shockingly different depending on what season you're, and shocking in some regards as well. Um, but this game has got a lot of interesting. I mean, I don't even. As I said, I don't know what the story exactly is per se. I think it's like some type of original plot because at this point, Spike is uh, still a badass, whereas later on he's kind of more sort of, I guess you could say, muted, in a lot of ways. You watch me now as I'm trying to figure out where to go. It's not always clear with this game where you've got to go. The combat system is quite janky. It's okay with say like one enemy on the screen, but once you get more than one enemy on the screen, the game starts to suffer with um, some targeting issues, and you don't have the ability to block very well. I didn't realize that this is combos on it, so obviously you have to, you hit so well. In this case, it'd be X, square, X square, A, all sorts of different combo moves you have to sort of you work at, and I tend to find myself spamming the throw button a lot of the time, uh, whilst I was playing this. But I got used to it. The crossbow is utterly useless in this game because you've got to target it really precisely, and there's no precision with it. And if you get knocked down, you lose your stake, which is really annoying. But I'm a big fan of Buffy. Was I did a video a while back on the VHS tapes I've got, seasons 1 to 6. I've also got the box set on DVD. This is one of the shows I think they have never brought it, and I suppose it doesn't need it, but it would be nice to see a high definition version of this show. I believe they did one many years back, and they completely fumbled it, and they messed up the lighting, so areas where the show should be nighttime look daytime, and I believe they did like a widescreen thing, which essentially you apparently can see the cameraman apparently from what I was told and from what I've read. Um, But yeah, Buffy's a very, very good show. Favorite season is probably season 2 or 3. Um, it's definitely it's there's better episodes in other seasons, but the general season overall, I think season 3 or 2 are easily just the writing, the stories, and everything about it and that. But then later on in the seasons, like season 6, as I said in that video, I hated it at the time because it was so dank and so depressing. Um, especially and season 5, the episode "The Mother," where she finds a mother who's passed away, and like, man, it's just gets really, you know, really really dark, but very very real in terms of like reality of life and stuff. So I thought this would be an interesting game to look at. It came in that bundle of games I got all those few couple of years back. The auction lot of Xbox and PS2 games and some other bits and bobs. Never seen an auction lot for GameCube games though, which is a shame because GameCube is very much one of the systems I've still been collecting for. The last one I got was Mario Kart Double Dash, and but a lot of GameCube stuff tends to be a lot more expensive. But I enjoyed playing this. What I've played of it, and it's very very hard. It's not an easy game at all. Very unforgiving, and as I said, the controls are janky as hell. So a lot of the time, you will you find once you get past more than one enemy, you start just getting your ass kicked because it's just so difficult to block. And I'm running it through the Xbox 360, not the original Xbox. Um, so yeah, and there are some annoyances such as if you die at a certain point in the game, it makes you go all the way back and like had to fight Spike again and go through the whole process again as such. Climbing, there's a bit of jumping and climbing obstacles and that, but it's not very clear how you do a lot of that stuff. I figured out how to climb across this metal bleeding pole thing, but it took me a while to figure it out. Um, it's one of those games, from the early 2000s where you had to figure games out in those days. There wasn't there wasn't the kind of levels of checkpoints and like Assassin's Creed. Oh, you can climb up that because it's yellow, or so. There was none of that. It was just grab something. Very much nowhere near as antiquated as say something like Tomb Raider was, the original ones on PS1. But that kind of jank where you got like, oh, I need to jump on this and then climb up and scroll and shimmy across. There's none of that. It's just literally you got to figure it all out, and that's kind of what I like about these old games. Um, and it's pretty much what my channel mostly is, if I'm honest. But I can't help myself sometimes. I am playing an interesting game at the moment called Sandland on PS5, and it's like an action JRPG, and it's quite a lot of fun, but it's not something I've ever really played before. So as you can see, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with this game and where to go and running about and stuff. And it's quite a long game as well. I mean, it feels it anyway. The levels are quite lengthy. And where are we? So once we get shimmy across, we get to the underground sewer bit, which we come across some different demons. Load times on this are actually surprisingly good. They're not that bad at all. I was expecting it to take a lot longer to load and stuff, but it really doesn't. It's very much it loads quite fast. Obviously, dependent on the version you're using. I've seen comparisons, and obviously the Xbox version just seemed like the superior version in terms of frame rates and graphics. It's ironic, really, because PS2 was, they said at the time when it was being announced, it's the most powerful system in the world. And actually, PS2 has some of I would say, the more inferior ports a lot of the time. And he's about to be dragged away, which is kind of weird. But I missed out on all of these types of games because I was very much one genre type of game, and then I was like, oh, I don't like that, I don't want to play that, and I just never really indulged in a lot of these other games. Whereas I've got a lot of friends that played a lot of these games. They've got this nostalgia for these games, and I'm like, I don't really get it. But you're gonna find it. Here's an issue in a minute. When I come up here, there'll be as they said zombie, a vampire will jump up and appear, and I couldn't aim with the crossbow. It was just really hard to aim with it. And obviously you have to knock them down so many times, and then you can yeah, and then you can essentially stake them. But it's like 3 or 4 hits. You get like health potions and obviously different weapons to allow you to re revive your health and all the other stuff. But there's a lot. It's not a forgiving game. I wouldn't call it exactly hard, but it's just the combat mechanics on it can be very tricky when there's more than one enemy on the screen because you have to constantly yeah, as you can see now I'm trying to aim and it's just impossible to aim. Like can't get any precision, or you can't even zoom in either, as far as I could tell, which is weird. But it is luckily one of the games that does actually run on 360 with backwards compatibility. Obviously, in my last video, I spoke about the decline of Xbox, and I do think that is the case. I don't think Xbox will be long for this world in terms of a brand identity. I think they're gone basically. It's just a matter of time now. They'll go third party like Sega, um, as I said before in the other video, but I don't know. It's a weird one. So it's nice to look back at these old games and just see that like they were a legitimate competition to PlayStation, even though from what I've read that apparently Xbox has never been profitable. Apparently, so I suppose in that perspective I can see why they're essentially doing away with Xbox as a brand, even though they're going to deny that. I think that is going to be the case. Um, as I said, I just don't see people wanting to use Microsoft gaming. It's just not appealing at all. But I could be wrong. But so it's nice to look back at these older games and see what they were going for, and see that the original Xbox was a powerhouse for its time. When you look back at the specs that on it. Right, so we've got a vampire coming up here in a minute, and sometimes I do really quite well on this, and I can kick their ass, and they jump up and they can fly up and all that sort of stuff. And then other times I can only deal with one enemy at a time because of the way see, the one thing I didn't realize was the ability to block is non-existent in this game, so you have to basically dodge, which is something I didn't really catch on to with this until later in the game while I was playing through it. I'm not sure if it's a game I'd actually properly play all the way through, although I am a big Buffy fan. Um, but I do struggle with some of these types of games. Oh, and there you go. Enemies do, when they hit you, they take a lot of health off you. It's a hell of a lot of health. So I get my health back again. I haven't played through this enough to know. I don't think it's like an XP type game where you level up, but obviously you can unlock different attacks and combo moves and stuff. I'd love to see them do like a Buffy game now, but with like the Arkham Asylum and City and all the other games, that type of combat mechanics would be really cool because the things you can do now would be really impressive. And as I said, the new TV show has been announced, and I wonder where they're going to take that as such. It is very sad that the actress that played Dawn passed away this year. She was my age. She was only 39, or only, but you know what I mean. But it's very sad. I believe it was complications from diabetes or something. So yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, that sucks. Awful. But yeah, so I wonder where they're going to take the storyline for the show. I really don't know where they're going to take it. It's a new Slayer, so it's going to be obviously a new generation. But what are they gonna? Are we gonna have like? Because the issue with Buffy mostly is going to be the fact that you've got like Spike, James Masters, Angel, David Bowie, if I can pronounce his name correctly. Um, they're supposed to be vampires. They don't age. Um, you know, when I started watching Buffy on BBC Two back in, I think it was 97 or 98, I was 12. I'm 40 at the end of this year. So, yeah. So, if I'm old, the actors playing these characters, are going to be even older. So, I don't know if they'll be able to bring Spike back, James Masters. It'd be cool to see Giles or Anthony Stewart Head back and all the characters that are still alive. I don't know if you could. Oh, we do have a graphical game glitch. Uh, Whether you could or not, because obviously, spoilers, like Anya dies at the end of it. Um, Cordelia is obviously an angel, so she doesn't make it through to the end, sadly. I think that was due to real life pregnancy. Um, and there was some pretty nasty shit that came out about Josh Whedon being a bit of a knob, so that was sad, unfortunately. But and you'll notice I've run out of crossbows in this section as well, which is not good. So yeah, it's I wonder what they're gonna take the show because obviously you've got the actress who played Faith. She's no longer an actress. So I mean you can, but who are you gonna bring back? I think Willow is one you'd have to bring back. I'm not sure about the actor Nicholas Brendan that played Xander. I know he had some, let's just say, some legal troubles and stuff. Uh, but it must be to be on a famous TV show and then you know, uh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think who else. Who was it? Obviously, you had Darla, Drusilla. Uh, it's the thing with this type of shows is you can kill characters and they can come back. Hell, like I said about the best seasons, probably season two or three. They killed off Angel when he was basically became Angelus, and then they brought him back for season three, and then he went off and had his own show, which to this day, season five was awesome. Uh, the old four was not as interesting as the other seasons, but like one was good, very much setting up the premise. Two was decent. Three was excellent, and four was it. I don't know. It was a bit. The main villain was Glory. Well, not Glory. I can't remember her name now. Uh, it's been that long since I've watched it. But the five, like when they inherited like Wolf from her heart, was just awesome. What an awesome concept! And then they cancelled it. I mean, the last line in the show is you take the 100 on the left, I'll take I can't remember, something like that, or the 1,000 on the right, and that was it. It's like, what the hell? Like, but they kept other shows going. I was like, oh, it's just, what the hell? Um, yeah. So I don't think there's never been an Angel game, has there? Saying that, I don't think there has. I don't think I've ever seen one. Not mainstream though. So I mean, just thinking of the characters, you obviously it's going to be a new show, so I don't know whether that they'd have many of the original characters back from the show because it's been a new Slayer. Um, and with Buffy, for instance, like when I think back of season six, as depressing as hell, um, and I really didn't like season six at the time. And then as I got older, I had much more appreciation, but most probably because I had more life experience. Whereas, the earlier seasons were more still still real life stuff mixed in with a lot of supernatural stuff. But and then obviously season seven really sort of kind of because I felt after season five they should have ended the show, just left it there because it's a sad ending, but the perfect ending in some regards. But then they kind of upped the stakes with season seven with the first evil, which was something that originally was trying to get Angel to kill himself, basically, for all the people he'd killed and stuff as Angelus and even as Angel. But Yeah, so it's got a show with a lot of mythology and a lot of history, and I'd love to see them bring it back in some capacity. Um, Obviously that won't be Xbox because I think Xbox are just a corporate entity now. I think, well, they always were, but I think now more than ever they are just about, oh, we want to make Call of Duty, Minecraft, the games that make the big bucks, and that's about it really. Everything else is just gonna be, they, as I said in that last video, they cancelled Everwild. Wasn't sure what to make of Everwild. Perfect Dark. I adore Perfect Dark on the N64. It's absolutely. I've got so many memories. But if I was to go out in the street now and ask someone like 16, 15, 16 or upwards, I said, "Oh, you ever played Perfect Dark?" They wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. Sadly. um, yeah, I guess they've been brought up in different generations, so there's a lack of understanding of how things used to be. But I was saying that lack of, it's just the fact that this things aren't like that anymore. It's just not how it is. But anyway, keep coming off topic. But I would definitely, if you get the opportunity, you see this game, pick it up because it's a nice little bit of slice of history. It's janky. It's got some issues. As you can see, I'm about to get my ass kicked in this bit, and I think I die in a minute. But it's fun. It really is fun. And as you can see, I don't know how to use the Holy War. I have no idea how to use it. Um, but but I enjoyed my time playing this. I might go back and play more at some point. It's definitely a game, but it's not hard, but it's not necessarily forgiving either. But it's it's definitely one of those sort of 6, 7 out of 10 games that's well worth a punt if you get the opportunity. I wouldn't pay mass loads for it, maybe 12 to 15 quid tops, I would say. But I kind of got to this point, I kind of got frustrated and gave up. But it's a game I would definitely recommend. As I said, it's on PS2, GameCube, Xbox. Um, and I've had a lot of fun with this game, to be honest.